So as you explained, it's obvious, why building maintenance and security is an area that really needs high availability. Can you also talk about, why is BMS a good model for other critical applications when it comes to high availability and disaster recovery?
Do you consider BMS as a distinct software industry sector? It's traditionally extremely conservative in its approach to the adoption of new technology. It's a very prescriptive and rules-oriented sector. There's also a lot of volume for regulatory and compliance requirements that have to be considered given the nature of the systems they integrate with. It's also a sector that's become increasingly reliant on IT. So in the early days, you had many BMS customers who came from a non-IT background. So when the evolution from physical servers to virtual servers occurred, there was a significant inertia related to the adoption of virtualization. Today, virtualization is the standard go-to platform for many BMS solutions. But the sector, in common with many other sectors, is now at the cusp of another technical evolution. Customers are now looking at how the cloud is changing the operating landscape and the potential impact and benefits that can be leveraged through the adoption of this new deployment paradigm. But again, given the nature of their business, there's this understandable caution as to how they approach the cloud, particularly in terms of aspects such as security and high availability. The market is now sufficiently mature in that many of the cloud vendors now offer secure and redundant connections into their platforms. So there's an implicit trust that customers' BMS-related data is being securely transmitted to and from the cloud. And so that security checkbox can potentially be checked. However, it's a different case for high availability. Traditionally, BMS solutions were developed and evolved in the physical world, meaning that you could see and touch and feel the platforms where your BMS solutions were running. There's that element of tangibility involved, knowing that your platforms are hosted on site. Approaching the cloud world is quite different, as your servers and your storage are out there in the ether, where the physical location of your infrastructure is somewhat unknown. Cloud is very much a connection-based infrastructure rather than a physical one. So it presents a significant leap of faith that needs to happen for BMS customers to embrace the cloud. And once BMS customers fully understand how high availability works on the cloud, then I think we'll see a more significant migration of BMS solutions to cloud platforms. Although here at SIOS, one of our aims is to help educate and enable BMS customers that the high availability SLAs that they're achieving on premise are also achievable on the cloud with the right technology set. And what's really interesting, Swap, is that there's already signs of this happening right now. There's an increasing number of BMS vendors that now offer cloud-based solutions, and customer confidence around cloud platforms is also growing. When you see the rapid growth and adoption at the consumer level with things like video doorbells, cameras, and cloud-connected home alarm systems, and consider the interconnectivity of these systems with each other, the wider sort of Internet of Things story is certainly beginning to pervade into the commercial B2B BMS sector. So watching and monitoring what the BMS sector does with respect to availability, and specifically availability in the cloud, can become a bellwether for other mission critical applications that may be considered as candidates for a cloud migration.